What's up, everybody? I'm Michael Allen, and this is the Movie Minute, your one-stop shop for non-spoiler movie reviews from a filmmaker perspective. This episode on the Movie Minute, we are talking about M. Night Shyamalan's new movie, Trap, starring Joshua Hartnett, the heartthrob. The true question is this Sixth Sense M. Night Shyamalan, or is this Avatar: The Last Airbender Shyamalan? Tune in to find out. So Shyamalan's been on quite the journey in Hollywood. He kind of peaked quick, then really had a rough go at it, and now he's kind of been climbing his way back into the scene, kind of making some more smaller movies, simpler, and I think he's might be onto something. The plot of Trap is really stated very well in the trailer. Basically, you have a mega pop star, kind of like Taylor Swift level, named Lady Raven, who's putting on this massive concert, and you have a dad who's taking his daughter to a concert. Sounds great, right? But this whole concert is set up to catch an infamous serial killer called the Butcher. And they've been tipped off in some way, and they are there with the FBI and with all these police and people to catch this guy. The entire film surrounds the events of this concert. It's really fascinating. And I don't want to say more because I don't want to spoil anything for you. So let's jump on in and talk about what I liked. First and foremost, the casting was really, really well done in this. I think bringing back Josh Hartnett, who was like this heartthrob from the early aughts, right? Hartnett really nails this role. He nails the cheesy, odd dad. He's got the dad jokes, the weird moments, the awkward moments. And then he also ventures into this really weird, awesome place of this sinister character. It's hard in a movie when your main character is essentially unlikable, right? Like, who likes a serial killer? But Josh Hartnett, his performance is so dynamic that it really brought something special to this film. Second of all, Shyamalan is back with his pacing. The early Shyamalan films were paced so well. He really built well into these moments in the film that were key turns and twists and story points that caught you by surprise. He was a master of pace. And he brought that back with this. You really feel the ebb and flow of the story in this film, and I really appreciated that. One of the cool things about this film is M. Night produced a whole concert, like had songs written, really made this pop star feel real, who's played by his daughter, by the way, which was really a great performance as well. And that added to the atmosphere of this film. I really think the fact that they went to the full lengths of producing a whole concert show, it really enriched the experience and the story. So let's talk about a couple of things that I didn't like. There wasn't a ton that I didn't like about this film. I really was on the edge of my seat, but I will say that one of the biggest critiques of Shyamalan in the past years has been that he really struggles to wrap up his films. And sadly, I think that's the truth in this one. It's not terrible, but the third act was a little bit weak, and the ending just felt a little bit of a letdown. I was a little bit sad the way that the film ended, and I thought that it could have been done a little bit better. And so that kind of bummed me out a little bit. I also think that there's a few things in the movie that just were a little too good to be true. Like, things happen in it, and the suspension of disbelief within the story, I felt was a little bit faulty. Like, there's a few moments where I was like, I don't know if that's what would really happen. Which, movies are movies, right? But the goal of a director is to remove the suspension of disbelief so you truly believe that this is really happening to these people at this specific time. And that didn't land a few times. From an entertainment standpoint, I was completely entertained by this. It was a lot of fun, and I was intrigued, and I really wanted to know what was going to happen, and I didn't know what was going to happen. That's the greatest thing about Shyamalan movies, is you're watching it and you have no idea what he's going to do. And he did that in this movie. I think in past movies, you were kind of able to guess sometimes of what was going to happen. And he did a good job at hiding that in this movie. And so, from an entertainment standpoint, I'd give this a solid 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it from an entertainment standpoint. I think from a critic standpoint, it really was well made. It's beautifully shot, beautifully lit. The whole concert venue just brought something really unique to the cinematography of the film, and I enjoyed the atmosphere. I just think that from an editing standpoint and just some of the little things with the story and with like the suspension of disbelief kind of knocked it down a few notches, and the ending as well. So I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10 for a critic's rating from like a filmmaker's perspective. So averaged out though, a 7.5 out of 10 for Trap. I think that it's a solid return for Shyamalan. I think he's on the way up. I want more movies from this guy. He knows how to make good movies. I just think he's finding himself later in his career now after shooting up at the beginning of his career. It's hard when you're so successful initially to then continue on that level of quality your entire career. That's hard to do as a storyteller. And so I'm excited to see him coming back into his own and really creating some really unique and intriguing films. So from a badge standpoint, this absolutely gets a popcorn bucket for me. This is fun. It is an enjoyable theater experience. It's worth the cost. And ultimately, even though it's this creepy thriller, I mean, it's a pretty soft PG-13. I mean, there's some scary moments, but it's more of like this thriller intrigue that I really enjoyed. And I think that you can go see it with your teenagers and have a lot of fun. At the end of the day, I am extremely encouraged by Trap. I think M. Night is on the right track. I think he's going to make some new great movies, and I'm excited to see what he does next. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe. Would love to have you in this community with me. Until next time, everybody, peace out.